All right, welcome back to Math is Easy Step by Step. This is part 2 in answering the question, what is the product of the polynomials? And so some of the things that I strongly suggest you know in order to answer these questions are as follows. You really want to have a good understanding of how to combine like terms and what are like terms versus non-like terms, right? So check out my video. I've created an in-depth video on understanding like terms versus non-like terms. Just real quickly, like terms have the same letter, that's a variable, and they have the same exponential power. Of course, consonants like 1, 2, 3, whole numbers, those are also considered like terms. So you can only combine, add or subtract like terms. Check out my video. Also, check out my video on invisible ones, right? It will clarify so much of what makes what makes math confusing for students. Check it out. I think you'll find it super, super valuable. Um, Exponents rules. I have another video, especially when multiplying, right? Check out your exponent rules when multiplying. Again, I've made a bunch of videos with that content. It's going to help you dramatically to understand how to answer these questions. And just follow my steps, step by step by step. Now, in the last video, part 1, we eliminated options A and E because that last term had to be a negative 35. Hopefully you recall. Now I'm going to go through those steps and show you what it is we need to do to for certain find the answer to this particular problem. So I've color coordinated this to try to help you in understanding, because this does get not complicated, but there's a lot of terms you got to stay organized. And that could be the tricky part, not so much the math. Any mistakes in organization and you're going to get the problem wrong. So you want to stay organized step by step. So I'm going to take this negative 3 times x squared and I'm going to multiply it again times each of these terms. I will show you using these color coordinated values. Then you're going to multiply a positive 5 times each of these terms, right? And in the end, we'll combine like terms, like I mentioned earlier, and simplify the expression to answers B, C, or D. Okay? Now, I want to show you something here. I put a plus sign in between these terms. Listen, you can do that. You can put a plus sign in between these terms, and it's not going to change the outcome at all, right? It just clarifies, right? This is a negative 1x value, right? And I put that plus sign to show that. This is a positive 3x to the second power term. All right, I put that plus sign here to show that. So it just clarifies. It will not change the outcome of your answer. All right, so let's go ahead and take a look here. This is going to be a lot of work. I may need a part 2 video, but I'm sorry, part 3 video. So let's just check it out. All right. Negative 3x times 1x to the third power. I'm showing you that here. Negative 3x squared times 1x to the third power right here. When you multiply with the same bases, you add the exponents. That's why I'm showing you the plus sign right here. I'll get into that in a little bit moment. Each operation I'll separate with a plus sign. So negative 3x squared times a positive 3x squared, negative 3x squared times a positive 3x squared. Again, you add the exponents when the base is the same and you multiply. That's a multiplication rule. Plus negative 3x squared times a negative 1x to the first power times negative 1x to the first power. Same base, you add the exponents, and that's an invisible 1 exponent in the exponent's place. 2 plus 1 is... All right, I put a plus sign after that, and I'll show my next negative 3x times a negative 7, negative 3x squared, times a negative 7, right? Now, I'm going to work on the positive 5, multiplying each of those terms. And right now, I'm just showing you each multiplication, and in a moment I'll give you the product, right? So positive 5 times a 1, x to the third power, it's invisible 1, x to the third power. So 5 times 1x cubed plus 5 times 3x squared plus 5 times a negative 1x to that invisible first power. Since 5 doesn't have a variable x, it's not important to show right now. You don't need to do anything with that invisible 1. Maybe later. Maybe later. Plus 5 times a negative 7. 5 times that negative 7 that you see here. So this is just showing you all of the multiplication that we need to do in what's called distribution. Each term will be multiplied. That's just a fancy way of saying distributed, right? Each of these terms is multiplying, and that's what all I'm showing you here. Now, negative 3 times positive 1 is a negative 3. 2 plus 3 is to the 5th power. That's what I'm showing you right here. Negative 3 times 1 is a negative 3. X times x, you add those values, you get 5. Plus, plus. Negative 3 times a positive 3 is negative 9. You add those exponents. 2 plus 2 is 4. Plus, plus. Negative 3 times a negative 1 is a positive 3. Add the exponents. 2 plus 1 is x to the third power. Plus, plus. Negative 3 times a negative 7 is a positive 21. Hey, don't forget that x to the second power. Plus, plus. 5 times 1 is 5, x cubed. 5x cubed. Plus, plus 5 times 3 is 15, and we keep that x squared, 15x squared. There's a plus sign right here. Plus 5 times a negative 1 is negative 5. You got to keep that x. So negative 5x plus, plus 5 times a negative 7 is negative 35. All right, we're going to combine these like terms, right? They have the same letter. That's a variable. X and x to the third power, x to the third power. So I can add a positive 3 with a positive 5, right? And that's what I'm going to do next. And then we'll go over the answer. I think we have time to do that. I know time is pretty limited, but let me show you before I do that in this last step here what you want to do. Sorry about that. Hopefully it didn't cause any confusion. So now you're just going to take everything you have up here. Now you're going to rewrite it and organize your like terms, putting them right next to each other, right? Like term next to like term, and simplify just like you see here. I ran out of room on this page, so on the next page, I'm going to show you, and we will wrap this up in part 2. So let's take a look here. We have the exact same thing from the previous page. We have it all written here. The only like terms I have is 3x cubed, 5x cubed. So I add them together to get 8x cubed. Everything else I'm just rewriting. And plus, plus. And then the other is x to the second power. So 21 plus 15 is 36. X squared. And then everything else I rewrite plus a negative 5x plus a negative 35. If you go back and look at your answers, the answer that this would match is the letter D, option D. So you can go back and check that out, or I can show that to you here. Option D is below. Well, you're going to have to check out the video. I've ran out of time. Hey, thanks for joining me. Math is easy. Take it step by step. If I've helped you, please help me to come and bring these videos to others. Math is easy, step by step. Please donate your stars, your gifts. Thank you so very much for your time. I appreciate it. Please like, follow, and share these videos.